For years, Ray Dalio has been regarded as one of the greatest investors alive. The founder of Bridgewater Associates built a reputation on understanding the global economy better than almost anyone else. But here's something that often surprises people. Some of his biggest predictions were spectacularly wrong. And strangely enough, those mistakes may be even more valuable than his successes. Ray Dalio never claimed to predict the future with perfect accuracy. Instead, he built his career around probabilities, principles, and learning from failure. Yet, like every investor, he occasionally made calls that simply didn't play out the way he expected. Understanding why can make you a far better investor than simply celebrating his victories. One of Dalio's most discussed missteps came in the early 1980s. Confident that the United States was heading into a severe economic depression, following high inflation and rising debt, he positioned himself accordingly. The logic seemed convincing. Interest rates were soaring, businesses were struggling, and many economists shared similar fears. But then something unexpected happened. Instead of collapsing, the U.S. economy entered one of the strongest bull markets in history after the Federal Reserve successfully brought inflation under control. Dalio's firm suffered enormous losses, and he was forced to lay off nearly his entire staff. For many people, that would have been the end of the story. For Dalio, it became the beginning. He later described this failure as one of the most important lessons of his life. He realized that being logical isn't enough. Markets don't reward confidence, they reward being correct. Even the strongest analysis can be overturned by events no one fully anticipates. Years later, Dalio warned about debt cycles, geopolitical tensions, and the long-term risks facing global markets. Some of these concerns have proven remarkably insightful. Others have taken much longer to unfold than many investors expected. This highlights another common investing mistake, confusing being early with being right. A prediction that eventually happens can still be costly if your timing is off by several years. Why do brilliant investors make mistakes like these? Psychology plays a bigger role than most people realize. Confirmation bias can cause us to focus on evidence that supports our beliefs while ignoring contradictory information. Pattern recognition, one of an investor's greatest strengths, can also become a weakness when today's market behaves differently from history. Even experience can become a double-edged sword if it leads to excessive confidence in a particular economic framework. The real lesson isn't that Ray Dalio was wrong. It's that uncertainty is the only certainty in investing. The world's greatest investors don't succeed because they predict everything correctly. They succeed because they manage risk, adapt when new evidence appears, and remain humble enough to admit when reality proves them wrong. That mindset separates professionals from gamblers. Instead of asking, "How can I always be right?" ask yourself, "How can I protect myself when I'm wrong?" Diversification, disciplined investing, continuous learning, and emotional control matter far more than making bold predictions. Ray Dalio's biggest prediction mistakes remind us that investing isn't about having a crystal ball. It's about building a process that survives uncertainty. If even one of history's greatest investors can be wrong, perhaps the smartest investment any of us can make is in humility. And sometimes that's the lesson worth more than any market prediction. If you enjoy exploring the timeless lessons behind history's greatest investors, consider subscribing, because understanding their mistakes may be the fastest way to avoid making your own.